Everybody, you're just in time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
And we're joined today by Rochelle Fritsch, a blogger from MilwaukeeMoms.com. Plus, Tracy Johnson is back with us. All right, Mayor Barrett wants something done about all these shootings happening in our area over the past week. He has approved police overtime, and now he's asking the state to step up. Should the state contribute $500,000 to help pay for Milwaukee police overtime? Tracy?
Well, I understand that because Milwaukee is the state's largest city, that there would be some sort of shared expense, because as goes Milwaukee, maybe this is just voting, but as goes the state, and you want to make sure that that it's safe. However, I think if you're going to ask for the money, you also need to be open to talking about what's the best solution, because I'm not sure that overtime for police officers is the best solution. Do you want people to be tired on their shifts? Do you want people to be spread thin? I don't know if that's the best solution.
Well, you know, I think when we're talking about that, and I do agree with what you're saying, but maybe overtime doesn't necessarily mean longer shifts. Maybe it means putting in a 0.75 or 0.5 FTE. The other reason why I think it's a good idea that the state would step up, it's not as if Milwaukee is coming empty-handed. There's a lot of collaborations that are going on. Everyone seems to be in agreement, from the FBI to the ATF to the DA's office. Plus, we're asking the state to match $500,000 that's already been approved.
Well, I just wonder why this wasn't planned for, and if there is some sort of contingency plan, and if so, maybe going forward, there is some sort of joint decision, understanding that this is important, that you keep your largest city safe.
I think there needs to be some stipulations, though, on how that overtime money is used, because if you just say blanket overtime, it could be somebody, you know, doing a traffic stop, getting overtime. Is this going to be overtime specifically targeted at either beat on the street to get into those communities, or is it going to be overtime, say, for investigating homicides?
We did see a report this week that the Milwaukee Police Department is getting better at controlling its overtime. They've started scheduling people in more intelligent ways to make sure they're not spending money frivolously on overtime. So if there is a legitimate crime problem in the city that they need more money to spend, they've made a good faith effort, it appears, to get what they've got already under control. Well,
and in many cases this wouldn't be an issue, but I think there is obviously disagreement between our local and state politics, and maybe that's what's making this more of an issue at this time.
I agree with you.
You know what, I just got to throw this in really quickly.
Yes.
I think the other thing that we do have to keep in mind when we're talking about the violence and things that's happening in the city, we can't put it all on the shoulders of law enforcement and policy. We've got a lot of other contributing factors that are making this kind of stuff happen. We've got mental health issues, we've got significant substance abuse and alcohol issues, which contribute to this. So law enforcement is only one part of it.
Absolutely.
We have to be looking at everything.
Well, all right, out of time on topic one there. No buzzer yet, Tracy. Coming up next, again, we are joined by Rochelle Fritsch and Tracy Johnson. She's from Tempo, Milwaukee. Now, nowadays, a lot of people opting to have only one kid, stopping at one. The financial burdens of taking care of a child, like daycare, food, school, and a lot of other costs, have people concerned. So is today's economy playing more of a role when it comes to having multiple children?
I got to raise my hand.
How many kids between the two of you?
One.
I have two.
Okay, so 3 between the two of you.
Mine's going to be 11 in December, so I guess you can count us as one and done. Yeah. You know, the economy, the current economy, does have some part in it, but I'll be honest. I'm trying to figure out my way and grow with my daughter and all these different ages and stages. I'm having a hard time with one. I can't imagine, seriously, doing it with 3 and 4. I'm the youngest of 4.
Tracy.
We just had this thing where we had to basically replace ourselves, and I think, I mean, two's been a lot of fun, but you know, we had talked about just having one, and I think for some people it's not really a choice. I mean, people are having children later in life, which is a function of their education, which is a function of their jobs, 2 families in the workforce, dual income. That doesn't leave a lot of time for raising children, and so there are lots of reasons, I think. I know lots of well-adjusted only children.
I am one of them.
Oh, there's hope. There's hope.
No, but I do agree with you, Tracy, in regards to a lot of people, women and men, are getting married later on in life, continuing with their careers, and so sometimes the clock stops ticking, and maybe only one is what you got.
Yeah.
But, you know, as an only child, I know I always did wish that I had a brother or sister.
No.
And the economy is one thing when you're talking about diapers and food and things like that. What I'm thinking about is, holy cow, college is going to cost a fortune. I mean, think about, we don't even know what we don't know.
Paying for 2 Marquette educations, that's going to be expensive. All right, last topic now.
In our final What's Hot, of course, you can guess what we're talking about. It is the Packers. It is the Green and Gold's first preseason game tonight, and many people wait years to get their hands on season tickets. One woman waited nearly 40 years. She and her husband put their name on a waiting list in the mid-1970s. Would you be willing to wait that long for a season ticket to see the Green and Gold in the frozen tundra?
I personally wouldn't be willing to wait, but I think it's really novel. I have friends that put their children on the list the day that they're born or they get their birth certificate. But realistically, if I want to go to a game, I'll look on StubHub and I'll probably overpay. Okay, I don't want to go in the cold. I want to watch it in the comfort of my home.
That's a lot of people taking that option these days.
I am totally with you. Listen, as long as, put it this way, if I'm on a waiting list and I have to pay for it yearly, I ain't going to do it.
Well, that's a good point. And a lot of
you
things
have to pay on the waiting list?
No, you don't pay to be on the waiting list.
Okay.
If I did,
You're on a waiting list to
it.
pay money for the rest of your life.
But
it's like having a kid.
Some leagues do charge you to be on the list.
Really?
Really?
Yes, and I was doing a little research on this.
Okay.
Right now, I think the Packers list is one of the longest. 100,000 people are on that list.
Really?
So if you got on that list today, it's something like 955 years from now you would actually be eligible, which I guess doesn't make sense with the 40 years on the list. But either way, it's a long list.
I just wonder how that person on the phone answers the phone when someone calls in and says, I want to get on the list. And they're like, yeah, you want to know your number? Take a number.
Jeff Wagner not here today. He's out at State Fair, but it is Friday, so we have a Jimmy Buffett lyric in his honor. Tears in my eyes burn while I'm waiting for my turn. Jimmy Buffett, the words of wisdom. Thank you all. Happy